Peter Robert Lamont Brown, FBA, is Rollins Professor of History Emeritus at Princeton University. His principal contributions to the discipline have been in the field of late antiquity. His work has concerned, in particular, the religious culture of the later Roman Empire and early medieval Europe, and the relation between religion and society. Early life. Peter Brown was born in Dublin, Ireland, to a Scots-Irish Protestant family. He was educated at Arravon School, then an old and distinguished preparatory school in Ireland, and subsequently, from 1948, at Shrewsbury School in Shropshire, one of the prominent public schools in England. When asked to comment on his intellectual formation, Brown has indicated that he completed his public schooling a year early, returning to Ireland in 1952, the year he turned 17. It was then in Dublin that he read Mikhail Rostovzev's The Social and Economic History of the Roman Empire, which he borrowed from the lending library of the Royal Dublin Society at Ballsbridge. He went on to read modern history at New College, Oxford, from 1953 to 1956. In his final academic year, he undertook a special subject on the age of Augustine, and was particularly influenced by the writings of Marot and Pigagnol. Career, employment and professional memberships. Following his graduation, Brown began, but did not complete, a doctoral thesis under the external supervision of Arnaldo Momigliano. The potential he had shown as an undergraduate was recognized by the award of the Harmsworth Senior Scholarship at Merton College, Oxford, and a 7-year prize fellowship at All Souls College, Oxford, at a time when it was normally possible to remain in the college after the prize fellowship. All Souls College subsequently elected him a research fellow in 1963 and a senior research fellow in 1970. The Modern History faculty of the University of Oxford appointed him a special lecturer in 1970 and a reader in 1973. He was elected a Fellow of the British Academy in 1971. He subsequently left Britain to become Professor of Classics and History in the University of California at Berkeley and then Philip and Beulah Rollins Professor of History at Princeton University. He was elected a Fellow of the American Academy of Arts and Sciences in 1979, a Fellow of the Medieval Academy of America in 1988, and a resident member of the American Philosophical Society in 1995. Before joining the tenured faculty at UC Berkeley and Princeton, Brown held visiting professorships at both institutions. At UC Berkeley in 1975, and at Princeton in 1983–6. He has also held visiting professorships at UCLA and in Italy. Other engagements as a visiting teacher have taken Brown to Toronto, and since 2000 to Hungary and Iceland. At Princeton, Brown was given the President's Award for Distinguished Teaching in 2000. A significant number of his former students in the UK and US have gone on to substantive academic posts. Speaking engagements. Brown has delivered several named lecture series. These include the Carl Newell Jackson Lectures at Harvard University, the Haskell Lectures at the University of Chicago, the ACLS Lectures in the History of Religion, the Curter Lectures in the University of Wisconsin-Madison, the Tanner Lectures at Cambridge and Yale, the Menahem Stern Lectures in Jerusalem, the Lectures in Human Sciences at the Institute for Human Sciences in Vienna, and the James W. Richard Lectures at the University of Virginia. He has also delivered a multitude of named single lectures. These include national academic occasions in the UK and US, the Raleigh Lecture in History in the British Academy, and the Charles Homer Haskins Lecture for the American Council of Learned Societies. Other named lectures include the Stenton Lecture at Reading University, the Sigmund H. Danziger Jr. Memorial Lecture at the University of Chicago, a Presidential Lecture at Stanford University, the Clark Lecture at Trinity College, Cambridge, the Gennadius Library Lecture at the American School of Classical Studies in Athens, the Fr. Alexander Schmemann Lecture at St. Vladimir's Orthodox Theological Seminary, NY, the annual Distinguished Lecture in Religion at Rutgers University, the Nikolai Rubinstein Lecture at Queen Mary College, University of London, the Patricia H. Labalma Friends of the Library Lecture at the American Academy in Rome, the Burke Lecture, University of California, San Diego, the Koresh Lecture at Maynooth College, Ireland, the Etienne Gilson Lecture at the Pontifical Institute of Medieval Studies, Toronto, and the inaugural Costin Lecture at Georgetown University. He has also been a named lecturer in all the universities at which he has held substantive posts. Lectures include the Magee Lecture at Princeton, the Pritchett Lecture at UC Berkeley, the Hayes-Robinson Lecture at Royal Holloway College, University of London, the Ronald Syme Lecture at Wolfson College, Oxford, and the Dacre Lecture in the History Faculty at Oxford. In 2007, Brown gave an inaugural talk at the opening of the Oxford Centre for Late Antiquity. In 2015 he was hosted by the Group for the Study of Late Antiquity at the Hebrew University of Jerusalem, Israel, in a public discussion with Paula Friedrichsen. Brown has also frequently been a keynote speaker at conferences and congresses. These include the International Congress of Medieval Studies at Western Michigan University, Kalamazoo, the International Medieval Congress at Leeds, and the Sewanee Medieval Colloquium. He gave the inaugural address at the first Colloquio International, Nuevas Perspectivas sobre la Antigüedad Tardía, in Segovia. Editorial work for several decades, Brown has been general editor of the book series, The Transformation of the Classical Heritage, published by the University of California Press. The first volume in the series was published in 1981. The full published list to date now exceeds 55 titles. Research grants. Following his earlier books, Brown has received some prestigious and substantial research grants, including the MacArthur Fellowship in 1982 and the Distinguished Achievement Award for Scholars in the Humanities from the Andrew W. Mellon Foundation in 2001. Research. Brown, who has a knowledge of at least 26 languages, has been instrumental in bringing coherence to the study of late antiquity as a field. Within this broad field, he has also been central in the study of Augustan monasticism, the cult of the saints, and the practice of sexual renunciation. More recently, he has made fundamental contributions to the study of power relations in late Roman society and to the study of financial giving. He has produced a steady stream of articles since 1961, and a steady series of influential books since 1967. Brown was influenced in his early works by the French NL school in particular, Vernon Braudel, analyzing culture and religion as social phenomena, and as part of a wider context of historical change and transformation. The Annal influence in Brown's work can also be seen in his use of anthropology and sociology as interpretative tools for historical analysis. Brown was influenced by Anglo-American anthropology, himself noting the role of both a largely British tradition of social anthropology and a largely American tradition of cultural anthropology. 1960s and 1970s Brown's research has been devoted chiefly to religious transformation in the late Roman world. He established himself in 1967 with his acclaimed biography of Augustine of Hippo. He published a new edition in 2000, with 2 new epilogues, one focusing on new evidence and the other on new interpretations. In his book The World of Late Antiquity, he put forward a new interpretation of the period between the 3rd and 8th centuries AD. The traditional interpretation of this period was centered around the idea of decadence from a golden age classical civilization. After the famous work of Edward Gibbon, A History of the Decline and Fall of the Roman Empire, on the contrary, Brown proposed to look at this period in positive terms, arguing that late antiquity was a period of immense cultural innovation. His most celebrated early paper concerned the figure of the holy man. According to Brown, the charismatic Christian ascetics were particularly prominent in the late Roman Empire and the early Byzantine world as mediators between local communities and the divine. This relationship expressed the importance of patronage in the Roman social system, which was taken over by the Christian ascetics. But more importantly, Brown argues, the rise of the holy man was the result of a deeper religious change that affected not only Christianity but also other religions of the late antique period, namely the needs for a more personal access to the divine. 1980s onward, his views slightly shifted in the 80s. In articles on New Editions, Brown said that his earlier work, which had deconstructed many of the religious aspects of his field of study, needed to be reassessed. His later work shows a deeper appreciation for the specifically Christian layers of his subjects of study. His current research focuses on wealth and poverty in late antiquity, especially in Christian writers. Honors. Brown has received formal recognition for his academic achievements from at least 12 countries on 3 continents. Honorary degrees and college fellowships. He has received some 20 honorary degrees. From outside the USA, he has received honorary doctorates from the University of Freiburg, Switzerland, Trinity College Dublin, the University of Pisa, Cambridge, the Central European University in Budapest, Oxford, King's College London, the Hebrew University of Jerusalem, the Aristotle University in Thessaloniki, and the University of St. Andrews. His U.S. honorary doctorates include the University of Chicago, Wesleyan University, Tulane, Columbia University, Harvard University, Southern Methodist University, Yale University, Notre Dame University, Amherst College, and St. Vladimir's Orthodox Theological Seminary, NY. He is an honorary fellow of Royal Holloway College in the University of London, and of New College at Oxford University. Prizes. Brown has received several major prizes, including the Heineken Prize for History from the Netherlands Academy of Arts and Sciences, the Ausonius Prize for Ancient History from the University of Trier, and the Premio Anixilau from the Municipality of Reggio di Calabria. In 2008 he was the co-winner, with Indian historian Romy Lathapa, of the semi-regular Cluj Prize for Lifetime Achievement in the Study of Humanity, from the U.S. Library of Congress. In 2011, Brown was awarded the prestigious International Balzan Prize for the Humanities, for his works on Greco-Roman antiquity. He shared the Dan David Prize for the Past in 2015. Foreign centers, societies and academies. Brown is a foreign member of the Netherlands Academy of Arts and Sciences, a corresponding member of the Royal Academy of Letters in Barcelona, an honorary fellow of the Italian Association for the Study of Sanctity, Cult and Hagiography, and an honorary member of the Royal Irish Academy. He is also honorary president of the Centro Internacional de Estudios sobre la Antigüedad Tardía, Teodosio el Grande, in the Universidad Nacional de Educación a Distancia, at Segovia. Foreign public recognition. Brown is a Chevalier of the Order of Arts and Letters in France. Book prizes. Brown has also won several distinguished book prizes. Augustine of Hippo, a biography, won the Arts Council of Great Britain Prize. The Body and Society, Men, Women, and Sexual Renunciation in Early Christianity won the Vorcel Award of the American Academy of Arts and Letters, and the Ralph Waldo Emerson Award of Phi Beta Kappa. Through the Eye of a Needle, Wealth, the Fall of Rome, and the Making of Christianity in the West, 350 to 550 AD, won the Jacques Barzun Prize in Cultural History from the American Philosophical Society, and the Philip Schaff Prize from the American Society of Church History. It also secured the R.R. Hawkins Award at the American Publishing Industry's annual Prose Awards. Selected bibliography of works by Brown. Augustine of Hippo, a biography, ISBN 0-520-22757-3, new edition, with new epilogue, ISBN 978-0-520-22757-6. The Rise and Function of the Holy Man in Late Antiquity, The Journal of Roman Studies, 61, 80–101. The World of Late Antiquity. AD 150-750, ISBN 0-393-95803-5. The Making of Late Antiquity, ISBN 0-674-54321-1. The Cult of the Saints. Its Rise and Function in Latin Christianity, ISBN 0-226-07622-9. Society and the Holy in Late Antiquity, ISBN 978-0-520-06800-1. Late Antiquity, in Paul Vane, ed. A History of Private Life. 1. From Pagan Rome to Byzantium. The Body and Society. Men, Women, and Sexual Renunciation in Early Christianity, ISBN 0-231-06101-3. Power and Persuasion. Towards a Christian Empire. Authority and the Sacred. Aspects of the Christianization of the Roman World, ISBN 0-521-49904. 6. Aspects of the Christianization of the Roman World. The Tanner Lectures on Human Values, November 1993. The Rise of Western Christendom, ISBN 0-631-22138-7. Chapters 21 and 22 in the Cambridge Ancient History, Volume 13, The Late Empire, AD 337-425, ISBN 0-521-30200-5. Poverty and Leadership in the Later Roman Empire. Through the Eye of a Needle. Wealth, the Fall of Rome, and the Making of Christianity in the West. 350-550, ad. ISBN 0-691-15290-X. The Ransom of the Soul. Afterlife and Wealth in Early Western Christianity.